of sensitivity. A reckless playboy in an endless search for the perfect good time. A dangerously devoted fan of Star Trek. A loving father. And a man of unforeseen power and history. Join me, Leibowitz. As we go back through time, before his humble beginnings in American theater, and his first forays into the magical world of church music, as we take a journey through the life of a man you only thought you knew. Joe was born on August 14, 1966 in Flanders, New Jersey, to his parents, George and Pat. 66. His brother and sister, George and Pat, used to enjoy dressing Joe up as Papa Smurf for their amusement. Good joke. Joe was a happy child, often spending his Sundays lounging comfortably in his favorite corner of the living room, pretending to have been locked up in prison for any number of daring crimes. As a child, Joe displayed an early tendency towards a life of parties and delinquency. He spent most of his early years with the first neighborhood gang, a mischievous group of ne'er-do-wells known only as the Backyard Boys. Pictured here are Joe, Spanky, his twin cousins, the Weasleys, and his brother Alpha. But soon everything changed for Joe, and with the help of a Christ-like comic book hero created by two Jews, young Joe began fighting neighborhood crime spree that she helped to create. That was the end of the Backyard Boys for good. He cleaned himself up, started going to church. The only thing left that was crooked about Joe Discher was his teeth. Joe bought his first sailing yacht at the age of 9. He played baseball for the legendary Knights of Columbus and joined the Sandinista National Liberation Front in 1979. By mid-April of 1979, his young guerrilla force was clashing with the forces. Even as a child, Joe knew that urban insurrection was the crucial element that would overcome Somoza's National Guard. Shortly after his narrow escape from Nicaragua and his heroic return to North America, Joe joined the Republican Party. And he started his own fiery local news show, Crossfire, pre-dating Tucker Carlson by nearly 20 years. As Joe grew, his interests became more artistic, and he took his act on the road with his one-man show, J.D. and the Bear, where he and his stuffed bear, would perform theatrical reenactments of the popular TV show, BJ and the Bear. Perhaps as a result of his fascination with B.J. McKay, or perhaps as a way to overcompensate for his horribly crooked teeth, as Joe got older, his hair became more and more an important focus in his life. He got braces and an earring, and continued to experiment with fabulous new methods of styling his hair. For example, this look was popular. Very popular look in the Discher household in the 1980s, as were his special green pants. He got this cute white dog. And he met this dude and they graduated high school. And then he started really experimenting. He formed a totally radical band. I like to call him the Joe Discher Project. I don't know what the name is. But everybody in the band was required to have feathered hair. Especially Joe. And then he started watching Family Ties. And he renamed the dog Boo-Boo. And he started attending Drew University, where he met a mysterious blonde woman who would alter the course of his life forever. At the New Jersey Shakespeare Festival, Joe would become finding himself invited to exclusive parties where hobnobbers would pose for pictures with cardboard cutouts of Barney Montana. He'd spend his time whisking off to exotic volcanic islands, traveling the world by donkey, by foot, up seriously long stairs, and braving the rapids of the Costa Rican wilderness. He would learn to harness the power of a goatee into an exciting and lucrative career in classical theater. Joe joined the CIA in 1995. Spy shortly thereafter. No one in his family had any idea. Here he is pictured with the director of the CIA in the late 90s, George Tenet, in a very clever disguise. Joe would occasionally eat peanuts.
Oh my God! This is the other week.
I mean, he would beat up bad guys, mostly communists. Joe watched a lot of Seinfeld in those years, and MacGyver. And occasionally he listened to Pearl Jam. He had another baby. and he kept up his front as the Associate Artistic Director of the Shakespeare Theater, casting himself in plays whenever possible, carefully waiting for the moment when the perfect part would come along. His mother never found out about his secret life as a spy, neither did his father, his sister, or his brother. No, the Discher family loved the Joe they knew. A church-going choir singer, a competitive sportsman, and a guy who sometimes doesn't want people to take pictures of him. Then, he met me. And he cast me in A Midwinter Night's Dream, Scaban, Galileo. And he saw that I had a motorcycle. And so he bought one for himself. Waiting here for that one. And his magical powers grew stronger. And he destroyed any trees which might stand in his way. And he helped build Jim's house with no shirt on. And sometimes he wore a shirt. Then he met Jamie Kay and they fell cross-eyed in love with each other. And they played beautiful music together. And they had a son. And sometimes Joe had gas. And he got the band back together. And then Joe cast me in The Tempest, and I just barely escaped being killed by Mark Minor. And so Faubert bought him a drink. And Joe got so drunk that he photocopied his own face. And then he got arrested under the Tempest banner for being a public nuisance. The next night, he played a sad lamenting tune on his fiddle while Jessica Iris Morris mocked his pain in the distance. Then Joe disappeared forever. Who knows when we'll ever see Joe Discher again? He could be anywhere. He could be even in this room right now. The end. Here's a funny picture of Jay.